Hey everybody, it's Matt here. I got off work early today because it's snow and sleet and slick streets, and so we finished up early at work and cut out and got home and I saw that James, Rockboy680, has a 500 subscribers contest going on that he just put up. So first off, the congratulations on the subs there. James, well deserved and well played. I'm sure there's plenty more coming your way. Saw it and I thought I would just go ahead and make an entry. So it's I think it's 4 questions that you had there, and the first question: what was the first record that you played on your current record player? The answer to that is I have absolutely no idea. The record player I have now, it's one reason I've never shown that on the VC is because it's about as dinky as can be, and everybody would laugh at me and they'd probably chase me out of the VC. It's basically got double cassette player on the bottom. It's got the I guess receiver and the radio record player on top, and it had a separate thing that had a CD player that I don't know what happened to it, but it's not there anymore. I've got a Bose radio that has a CD player that I got separately. Anyway, I got this record player. I had a record player way back when I was a kid. I remember my parents used to have one of those big console stereo systems that you lifted the top and it was about as big as a sofa. I got a record player for Christmas or birthday back when I was probably, I don't know, 9 or 10. Got another one that my mother got me for birthday, I think, when I was probably 14 or so. That was fairly nice system for the time. That would have been back in the late 70s. First record I played on that was actually a Sgt. Pepper picture disc that had just come out around that time, because I figured the first record should be a Beatles record. Around 1985, I went to Hewlin Mall and picked up a very nice, for the time, stereo system that was, I think it was like $1,600 system, and it had this newfangled thing called a CD player. When I bought it, went to the record store that day and bought some new records because I figured I ought to. Even bought a CD. I remember the record store at that point, went to Sound Warehouse, and they had one row of CDs and the rest of the store was vinyl. And maybe wasn't 2 or 3 months later before that flip-flopped and the vinyl was gone and it was all CDs, and they had just a little section of vinyl left. But so on that one I got, because that was when everything wasn't out on CD yet, the Beatles weren't out yet till a couple of 2 or 3 years later, and some albums would even come out on vinyl and not come out on CD for a few months. But I got Bruce Springsteen's first album because I was looking through the CD selection and that was one of the few things I saw that I didn't have. So you're not asking about CDs, but on that stereo system I remember that I also played a Beatles album. I don't remember, I think it was Revolver, just to break it in with a Beatles record. This was 1985. That system, as nice and pricey as it was a piece of junk from the get-go. Never did work right. The speakers would cut in and out, and it had other problems with the receiver. The record player never, it was automatic, and it would go, sit on the record, go back, go, and it'd take about 10 times before it'd finally just play the record. And I kept that system for several years and never liked it, and took it in to get repaired several times, and they never could figure out what was what with it. Finally just sold it to somebody, and I went to Dillard's department store back when department stores still sold stereos and so forth, and picked up the stereo that I have now for, I think it was like $299 or $199. And it's, it works. It's far from ideal. One of these days I need to upgrade. But anyway, so I got this system in, I want to say 1991 or 1992, I believe it was, and the first record I played on it, I really don't remember. So I don't know if that answers your question or not. Your second question was, what is your favorite live album? I'm not a huge fan of live albums, so there are some that I do like quite a bit. the Live Kinks albums, a couple of those. The Beatles' Hollywood Bowl, Wings at the Speed of Sound comes to mind. The Who, Live at Leeds is okay, pretty good one. My favorite, and I don't have this on vinyl, so you're going to have to look at the CD, Sam Cooke Live at the Harlem Square Club. Just an incredible, great live album. Was recorded in 63 or 64. He, of course, died in 64. But I think this is a 1964 show, and I'm sure it says in here, but was recorded then, was not released until like 1980 or 1982. So it's out on vinyl. I just have not gotten around to getting a copy. But if you're thinking Sam Cooke is sort of the smooth soul singer of Cupid and Chain Gang and stuff like that, he is. But on this one, he really cuts loose, and it's a more raw and passion performance than often heard on his records. Which his records are great because he's one of the greatest singers of all time, in my opinion. So Sam Cooke, that would be my favorite live album, and this is definitely worth seeking out if you don't have it. Another one that's an honorable mention, they did these Woodstock series a few years ago, and this never came out on vinyl as far as I know, but this is Sly and the Family Stone's complete performance at Woodstock, and I think it's on a couple of CDs, but just an incredible, great live performance from another one of the best bands of all time. So, best live album, there you go. Your next one is your favorite soundtrack. Well, technically, I guess Help and Hard Day's Night are soundtracks, but I won't do that. I will go with two of them that I liked a lot, and I don't have anymore. I used to have them on cassette. Was Repo Man, the film from 1984, and Sid and Nancy from 1986 or 7. Both directed by Alex Cox. Some great fun movies from my 80s days and great soundtracks, but I don't have them. I'll go ahead and show this one, Valley Girl. Also still one of my favorite films. It's one of those goofy old 80s movies, but a great movie, and just a great soundtrack. And this is actually pretty rare because the soundtrack came out, the movie came out in 82, 83, 83 I think, and this came out and got pulled pretty quick because they didn't get licensing for one of the songs on here, so it went out of print. It should have grabbed it. It's over there, but there's a double CD set that came out later in the 90s that's two CDs. It's songs from Valley Girl that has a lot more songs than are on here because this doesn't have all the songs in the movie. But just some great 80s new wave stuff, and there's some things that everyone knows, like Men at Work and Modern English, I Melt With You, Love My Way by Psychedelic Furs, but there's some others that are a little more obscure, but they're all equally great. Adam Lee, you would love this. This is kind of hard to find, but the 2 CD set should still be out there, and it's well worth picking up. I know Adam would love that. Soundtrack also, just from a musical standpoint, as opposed to songs or like a score for a film. I like the spaghetti western stuff, like the Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and those type of things. And I just went blank on the guy's name. It is, hold on, in here somewhere. Morricone, if I'm saying that right. And this is a really good one too, and it's a great movie. If you like Hitchcock movies, this is a great. It's not Hitchcock, but it's the best Hitchcock movie Hitchcock ever made. Great kind of thriller thing. Good looking girl too. Miles Davis did it's Elevator to the Gallows, is what that translates to. So. That's a great one. Some Miles Davis soundtrack from the 50s. So there's soundtracks, I guess. Valley Girl and would be that. The some kind of a colored vinyl, or our favorite colored vinyl you wanted to see. So let me get this out of here. And I don't know. This is described as Robin's Egg Blue, Robin's Nest Egg Blue. It is She and Him Volume 3. Not a very good album. There's one or two good songs on there. I'm not a huge She and Him fan, though I like their Christmas album, and I would like to get their new album where they're doing the old 40s and 50s covers of old songs, because I heard some of that and it's actually pretty good. But they've got a few good songs on their regular albums, but they're kind of bland and boring for the most part. I just got this because I don't know why. They only made 500 of those, so they're already way out of print and hard to find and rare. I mean, the album's still available on regular black vinyl, but that colored vinyl I think looks really cool, and so there's that. Your last question was show a box set. I've shown pretty much everything I have, including this, but I just picked this at random, and I'll go ahead and show this again. This is a from Numero Records. It's like an old record box for holding 45s. They only made, I don't know, a couple of hundred of these, or 100 or 500, and they're long out of print. And it comes, if I can get this out of here, with a book. It's called Eccentric Soul, which has the stuff about all the 45s in here and the bands. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. And it's Numero specializes in sort of obscure soul and rock and roll records that were put out on just little private labels, stuff that not your Motown or Stax, but just little labels that nobody ever heard of and that didn't do anything, but there's still some great music. And so this is just a box of 45s on these weird little labels, and the thing is there's a 45 from each state of the Union, state of the United States, and I got the first, I think they made 500 of these, and the first 100 came with a bonus 45 that wasn't with the rest of the sets after that, and I got one of the first 100s. So it's got all these weird labels, and it's all these bands you've never heard of, but it's all soul music, kind of 60s and 70s stuff from little independent label things, and there's some incredibly great stuff in here. It's not all 10 out of 10, but there are quite a few 10 out of 10s in here, and there's some good stuff otherwise. There's really no dogs in here out of whatever that is, 50, so there's like 100 songs, and with the bonus there's 102. So that's a neat little box set from Numero Records that I got several years ago. And you said you could also show something non-music related, so I will do that. This isn't going to be terribly exciting, but I got this several years ago before the show came on. It was for 1995, and I'd heard about it before the show came on, but it's just a box set of the first four books of there you go. So and I've got the 5th book too, which wasn't Game of Thrones. Just went blank there, but I have the 5th book too, but it was not out at the time this came out. So that was my introduction to Game of Thrones. So there you go, James. Congratulations on your subscriptions, and hope you get many more. I've got a contest going right now, so if you feel like it, go ahead and jump in and take part in that. And I've got a couple of challenge questions still floating around out there, the decade year by year and the Beatles vinyl thing. And the contest is what songs define rock and roll in your mind. So anyway, just a little plug for myself. But all right.